Well, for as good as we're offensively, the first two games, tonight obviously was the direct opposite. Give North Texas credit. Gross does a great job with this team, and their defense was very, very good. But hell of a game. We came up short. We turned the ball over a little too much, and obviously you got to make free throws in games in March. In games like this, where a 1 or 2 possession game, you've got to make your free throws. But again, hats off to those guys, and I couldn't be more proud of this group. Obviously, we fought until the very, very end, and I think that is a testament how good of people these guys are, and how much they love this university, and how much they understand that this is really important to our university and to our program moving forward. They set the standard, which obviously is not where we want to go. We want to go to the NCAA tournament, but they've taken a step forward in setting the standard, and for that I'll ever be, I'll forever be indebted to them.
Can you talk a little bit about the weight situation there with the 3 and the timeout?
Yeah, I probably should have, in hindsight, I probably should have called it with 3 seconds because I didn't feel good about what we were doing. We tried to run a play, and my point guard went to the left side. He was supposed to go to the right side. We had a play drawn up. So it was a broken play. But, at the end of the day, Brandon got a good shot with 0.7 seconds. And, I'd put a lot of money on him hitting those the majority of the time. He just did it tonight. So it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll take questions for players now.
Bryce, just kind of what are the emotions like?
They're real. Real raw emotions right now, man. Obviously, you don't want to lose. So just the competitiveness part of it is kind of eating me right now. But like Coach said, I mean, we were down to like 9 with like a minute or something left. So to rally together, to make some shots, to get some stops, and really make it a game and a 1 possession game where we feel comfortable with B shooting that shot. It was good. I mean, ultimately, you want that shot to go in, but we gave ourselves a chance.
Brandon, sort of same question. Just kind of what are the emotions like after all of this?
Obviously, we wanted to win. We wanted to keep playing. It sucks. But I mean, when games like that, they come down to the wire like that. You got to look at the entire game. Like down the stretch game, play by play, it can go either way. There were some calls that we thought should have gone our way, whatever. But I'm proud of the guys, our guys, and we fought hard. We were down, I think, 6 to 8 points or something like that with a minute to go, and then we end up getting a shot off, to try and win the game. So I'm proud of the guys for that.
Brandon, in terms of this tournament, you don't want to be here right now talking about the end, but what was it like to get these extra 3 games with this team?
It was amazing, man. Just to touch up what I said, like I'm really, really proud of this group, and how we've been able to band together as a team. In hindsight, I wish we could have been playing basketball like this, over the course of a season. But we did what we did with what we had, and we made something happen.
Do you think y'all reached a new level in this tournament that y'all didn't hit during the regular season?
100%. 100%. This is the best team basketball from top to bottom that we played all season.
Bryce, what have you learned about yourself in the last year?
That I could be pretty resilient. There's been a lot of injuries, a lot of stuff that's kind of out of my control, but I try to still come prepared each day with a smile on my face and ready to work. I tore my shoulder up. There was a whole process with that. With physical therapy, then getting my shot back right, just all the little things that can kind of mess with you mentally. As a player coming back, and I've kind of just brushed it off and just kind of worked through it, and I think I was able to get back to where I was before I got hurt.
Bryce, sort of same question as Brandon. Do you feel like this team hit a level that y'all in this tournament y'all didn't hit in the regular season?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I think you can definitely see it too. I think like as a fan, just watching us, we're playing with more joy, more pace. We're playing together. We're high-fiving each other, laughing, smiling, all the things that go into a good basketball. basketball team. And unfortunately, it happened later, sooner rather than sooner. But I'm grateful that it happened.
Were you able to notice a difference with the crowd tonight than in some of y'all's other games?
Yes, for sure,
Well,
sure.
And
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you were in front of a crowd like this in that arena?
Maybe like a bedlam or something, but regardless, we want to say thank you, to all the fans out there that came out to support. We appreciate that, and you guys definitely gave us a push, and y'all were responsible for maybe 5 to 7 points for sure.
Bryce, what kept you guys? Because you had some ups and downs in the season, but it looked like you did. There's a point where you didn't say how many games do we have left, instead of saying when's our next game. You know what I'm talking about. You still wanted to play, I guess.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with our captains of the team. I think we did a good job of controlling the locker room and making sure everybody's head was in the right place, and that just because we lost 1 or 2 doesn't mean the season was over, and that we still had gas in the tank, man. And I think us just kind of getting everybody together and getting everybody on the same boat, I think we were able to make some good things happen.
Bryce, I'm sure Brandon, is upset about that last shot, but I mean, could you just talk about that? That wasn't an easy shot for him to take.
No, for sure, but I mean, he's a shot maker, so we live with that. He had a great game today. He's somebody that works hard, and as a player, we live with that, and we believe that the next one going in, and we'll draw it up like that next time.
Bryce, you're now in the top 20 in scoring in Oklahoma State history. I mean, what do you want your legacy to be? A year from now, 5 years from now, when you look back at Oklahoma State?
First off, that's a blessing, man. I'm really thankful. Just for God, allowing me to play this game for as long as I did, man. I had some injuries, had some bumps, but for the most part, I was able to play and enjoy it, man. But as far as legacy, man, I just want people to remember me of like how I was as a person. How I treated people. How I just talked to anybody. Whether it was Coach Lutz or the janitor, man, I treated everybody the same, and and could ball a little bit.
Brandon, just in terms of, obviously you chose to come here for your last year. What was it like? I'm sure you didn't get everything you had sort of hoped would happen when you came here, but did you get some of the things that you wanted out of this?
Yeah, I would say that. I think it was the first time kind of being with the different dynamic of people in the locker room and on the team. I think I learned a lot, not only of being in a leadership captain role on a team, and then also by myself. I'm forever grateful for this year. Getting to play for Coach Lutz again. That's my guy. You guys know that we've been together for a long time. So I got no regrets.
Anything else for you guys? All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Steve, it would have been easy for you to say a couple weeks ago, hey, we got 9 guys graduating, we don't need to mess with this. But what did you hope to get out of this, and do you feel you got what you were hoping
I don't know that I really have given that a lot of thought, to be very frank with you. I'm wired to compete. I'm wired to play. And I think these guys are wired that same way. And as I've told y'all several times, I think as the year went on, and especially from February on, our team got better and we played better. And anytime you have a chance to play for a title, man, you should be hooked up and wanting to play. And I felt like those guys felt the same way. So, when the opportunity presented itself, it was a no-brainer in my mind. Obviously our goal is to contend for the Big 12 title and to be an NCAA tournament team and do damage in the NCAAs. But, the NIT is one of the most prestigious tournaments in the United States. It's been around the longest. So, I was excited to play, and these guys were as well. I thought that they poured their heart and soul into the season, and particularly into the NIT. So couldn't be more proud of them.
At what point did they do that? Because I kind of was asking Bryce, because some teams guys were looking and saying, how many games we got left? And others say, when's the next game?
Yeah, I never felt like they were going to quit on us. Now, there were some dark days after getting your brains beat in by Texas Tech at home, you know. But as I've said several times, this group is not perfect, but they're good people and they have good character. And they're wired the right way in terms of, you know, wanting to do the right things. So they always played for the name on the, well, I'm not gonna say always, most of the time they played for the name on the front of their jersey, and they understood how important it was for them to set a standard here moving forward for this basketball program, and I think they've done a pretty good job of that.
The team improved in just about every category from last year. Even with having to replace a significant number, you know, what do you tell the fan base going into year two?
Well, I mean, I tell them that obviously we didn't achieve what we were supposed to achieve, right? I mean, I don't shy away from the standard. The standard is for us to contend for Big 12 titles and get to the NCAA tournament and give ourselves a chance to compete for a national title. So we didn't achieve that. But I think that anybody that followed our basketball team understands that these guys fought, they played the right way, they gave their all for this university and for this program, and as we continue to grow the program, it's going to be something that they'll be very, very proud of again. We're going to be where we need to be. I have no questions about that, and it's going to be sooner than later. So stick with us, support us, and help us recruit, because it's going to be a big spring and summer for us.
Steve, when y'all started the NIT, you talked about, you know, the guys that come back, hopefully they can take something from this experience. With the energy that crowd had in there, can the fans take something from this experience?
I sure hope so. Like, anybody that was here tonight can't say that we played well offensively, right? There were some times where it was some bad basketball, but a part of that is because North Texas is number 2 in the country defensively. I mean, they're very good. With that being said, I think anybody that knows basketball knows that those kids played the right way. They played their hearts out, and they, albeit we did not win, the people that were in the stands left tonight and said there's a bright future ahead, and that we're laying the building blocks for the future. And if they didn't, I'm really sorry, you know, but man, I've been around basketball a long time. I've seen good and bad, and I've seen good and bad with this team. Tonight, they gave 110% of their heart and soul to winning this game. We just came up short. We turned the ball over too much, and we didn't make free throws.
You got the lead 44-43, they hit you like a 9-0 run.
Yep.
Was that more them or something?
It was us. We had two bad shots and a turnover. And anytime you do something like that in a game against a good team, especially one that plays at the pace that they do, it's really, really hard to recover. I mean, they're 352 in pace, which means that there's only 10 other teams that play slower than them. So now they control the tempo, now they control the game. Anytime they're up 1, 2, or 3, it's just so hard to come back, which, you know, give our guys credit, man. They did a good job in the press, turning them over, and again, gave ourselves an opportunity to have a shot at the buzzer to win the game.
You mentioned the press when Ross was in here. He talked a lot about how impactful that was down the stretch. How important did you feel it was in particular for kind of building some momentum there?
Yeah, I mean, you've watched us all year. I mean, we pressed quite a bit during the year. I thought that maybe we should have picked and chosen our spots earlier in the game to press more. But the problem with Ross and the way that they play, and kudos to him, he breaks the press and he pulls it out and he waits till 10 seconds to run a play and he milks the clock. Whereas some people, you may not get the steal in the backcourt, but you may get it in the front court because you've still sped them up and they're out of control or they're out of sorts or whatever. So again, Ross is a good basketball coach. He did a good job tonight, and you know, that played into his favor to make this I don't know, it's probably a 55, 57 possession game is my guess. and we need to play in the 70 possessions. You know, I mean, we've scored 89 and 85 in the first 2 NIT games, and tonight we get 59. Right? They've held 19 straight opponents to 67 points and under. It's pretty damn impressive, guys. So we've just got to be better. We've got to be better.
You touched on this a little bit at the top, but all those seniors that come together to play this last year under you, just kind of what's that group meant to you?
Yeah, guys, I mean, I don't want to get too emotional with you guys, but I love each and every one of them. I'll always be there. We'll always be there for them. What they did this year, coming together and you know, giving themselves an opportunity to win an NIT title and get to the Final Four, shows again how much character and resolve they have, because like I said, we've had a lot of ups and downs, but you know, it made me proud to be their coach, because they always, for the most part, they did the right things, and tonight was a testament to how far that they've come.
That run y'all had at the end to even get the shot, is that a run this team had in it in the regular season, or something? Is that just a sign of the growth you've seen the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I don't know. I would think so. That the growth has really helped us. Yeah, I mean, this team, again, guys, we've had some really highs and some really low lows, right? And this team's always strapped it back up and came back, you know, and you know, again, that just shows the character and the resolve of them, and how much it meant to you know, put a good product on the floor for Oklahoma State basketball. But you know, I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it again. We're going to get where we need to go, guys. The future is going to be bright. We're trending in the right direction. We need to have a great recruiting class here finishing off. We've already signed some good players, and now we've got to finish it off this spring. And you know, we'll see what happens with the current team as to who wants to come back and who doesn't, and we'll go from there. But I'm confident as much today as I was on April 5th last year when Dr. Schrum and Chad introduced me as this basketball coach, that we're going to get where we need to go.
What does the next month look like this year? Now you're not having to be hired as you were last year. Like last year, you guys late start to the portal and everything.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be on a plane at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'll go see 3 or 4 kids tomorrow. I'll probably come back on, what is today? Today's Tuesday. I'll probably come back Thursday and try to meet with some of the returners. And then I'll be back on the road Friday, Saturday, Sunday until the dead period hits. And in the interim, or in the meantime, we'll bring kids in for visits, and we'll try and sign some guys or get guys committed. You know, we've got a good handle, I think, on the portal, even though it was absolutely insane and overwhelming yesterday. And how it's just crazy, guys. Like you don't understand how out of control the transfer portal is, and the agents are, and the amounts of money that are being asked for right now. We've got to fix this somehow in college basketball. But with that being said, we're going to embrace it. We're going to go full steam ahead. We're going to sign some good players and make sure we can get in a position to be in the hunt for the Big 12 title and get to the NCAAs. That's what our goal is. That's what I was hired to do. So we've got to be full bore. It's going to be some crazy long days here for the next month and a half.
We'll end on that one unless you guys have other
700 people in there?
questions.
Shoot, well, that's probably before game time. Probably 750 by after game time. I mean, the numbers, like I think day one when it opened, maybe you had 125, and in year 2 you had 250 or 300. I think yesterday in day 1 you had 550 kids in there. It's just crazy. And then again, I'm not against the portal, but we've got to figure out something and continue to make this game great. I mean, it's the best product on earth. I mean, the NCAA tournament, the NIT, I mean, everybody's watching. Like last night I got home and my wife's complaining because there's nothing on TV. She's been watching basketball for, 4 or 5 days, and she's like, well, this stinks. And I'm like, well, I'm going to watch film, so you can figure that out on your own.
Steve, real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
Some people might look at the calendar last year and they go, oh, well, it's not that much different. But from somebody in your position, the extra days that you have now that you didn't have last year, how important is that when it comes to getting a jump on the portal?
Well, I mean, it's night and day. It's night and day. Because I walked in here on April 5th and didn't have a staff and didn't have anybody to help recruit, right? And now the portal opened up yesterday, which was what, the 24th? And I mean, we've got boards, we've got matrices. I mean, we've got it all. Like, there's 2 to 3 people in that room, and as soon as one hits the portal, we're evaluating them and saying yes or no. Now, with all that being said, I mean, there's some you've known about for a while, right? It's just the way this world is. But yeah, I mean, it's literally 24/7, 24/7.
Do you try to put together a roster based on current scholarship numbers or potential house
Yeah, I
versus
mean, I've got so many scenarios going right now. I mean, you know, we obviously have 3 starters that could return. Will they all return? Who knows? You've got 5, 6, probably 7 guys that could return. Will they return? Who knows? You know, I'll give all of them their due diligence. I'll treat them with respect. But unfortunately, guys, it's almost like a business transaction, because if you walk into my office and say, hey, I want triple the money, and our staff doesn't feel that we can accommodate you, or that we don't want to accommodate you, well, then you're going to have to move on. And there's no hard feelings, right? I tell these guys, you're a cowboy, man. And if you leave or not, you're always a cowboy. I always got your back, but it's very transactional. It just is.